Hey guys, I know I took a long 2 week break, but to be honest, that's probably my shortest break ever. I came here to talk about something serious. This is a one part and a two-part video of me talking about more serious stuff. So as you can tell by the title, oh god, my hair, god, it's bad. But anyways, as you can tell by the title, I'm trans. And I think this is the first time I'm actually saying it on video. Like, I've ranted about like trans stuff on Instagram before, like the stuff I face and like, you know, dating apps especially, but this is the first time I'm actually saying it to you guys, to my subscribers. And I guess we could talk about today like what that means for me and how, because I think there's a lot of people's questions. So me in my life, I have a very openly fluid life, like as you can tell, like we already knew somewhat. Let me get a little more comfortable. But basically from like a young age and stuff, I was extremely feminine. Now I'm not saying that's my reason for being trans. I'm trans is really because of the fact that I noticed, like, let me start from the beginning. So childhood, feminine as hell. Then I don't jump straight into something. I kind of like roll with it until I fully decide. Like for a while I was bisexual, even though I do have very lesbian tendencies, but still like beginning like 7th grade to I want to say 8th was when I fully was like, okay, I'm gay basically. So then that's how that happened. Now with my gender and stuff, it happened I remember like first getting to like women's clothes and stuff, and that was in 9th grade, and that's because they were cheaper. I mean, you go to Goodwill and shit, like you find cheap girl clothes like mad easy, to be honest. So basically for a while I was gender fluid for about a year. Yeah, it was a year, it was a full year. And that's after I experimented with gender in 9th grade. But I still identified as male then, and then Drag Race came along, and I started watching Drag Race. I started looking into actually doing drag, and I started. After looking into drag, and I remember my boyfriend at the time wasn't really the nicest person, so I was like, okay, he might break up with me if I start doing drag. So then I was like, okay, whatever, fine. But then after we had the falling out and left him and stuff, well, he left me, but besides the point, after that I was really depressed, and you know, Drag Race has always been something that helped me not only learn about the gay community, but also helped me feel better. Because, you know, like I remember watching Drag Race and just being astounded, even after like a really like busy day at school and really depressing day at my school, I would just watch Drag Race and everything would be fine. But I remember watching it and I was like, I want to do that, I want to try that. But then, you know, I was still really nervous because I was like, I don't really know a lot about drag. So then my mom took me to a drag show with some of the queens from Drag Race. It was probably the most gay fun I think I've ever had. Like to this date, I mean, I've done a lot of gay shit, to be honest. I've thrown glitter on protesters. I've, you know, I've done it all, to be honest. But that was probably the most fun I think I've ever really had in a gay like surrounding. And I remember she took me out there to like the smoking section. She was like, come on, that's probably where the queens are at. And then I saw Ivy Winters, and I didn't know how to talk to her because like I love me some Ivy Winters. To this day, my Ivy Winters merch shirt is probably my favorite shirt. I think I've worn it too damn many times, but like still it is probably one of my favorite shirts ever, and I love it so much. And that's because Ivy was such a really awesome and kind person. Like we had a full live conversation, and then she remembered me while she was performing on stage and like waved to, like specifically to me. Like, you know when people say, oh yeah, Beyonce waved to me? No, Ivy Winters waved to me, period. And then I talked to Jinx, and Jinx was like really lovely. I mean, who really expected Jinx and Ivy to be bad to like people during like a meet and greet or something? Nobody. But I'm trying to hide my hair because I know my hair looks a mess. I'm gonna just hide my shoulders like this. But anyways, yeah, that's really inspired me to start doing drag. So I started doing drag in the summer of 2017. No, really, it was like the spring of 2017. And for me then, drag was just makeup. I had like a little side job babysitting, so it was all makeup I was buying. I didn't buy like, you know, I didn't buy different outfits or wigs. I think the first wig I got was my green one. Oh god, do you remember that? I need to find someone to restore it because I would like to wear that again. But anyways, then it became the wig, and then I was just like, you know, in full drag and stuff. Then I started painting very soft. Was, I mean, for me at the time, it was pretty damn good makeup. Like, it was a lot of smoky eyes, I had some cut creases in there too. Liner was like a little thicker than this right now, even though this eye makeup, bomb.com, right? But I did the inner corners and stuff, and my inner corners were a little thicker. They're not as thin as they used to be. No makeup on the bottom lash line. My wings were like so like small and chunky though, and did that. And I remember I came up with this look, and I put the wig on, and I chose the outfit. And then at this time I had a $3 bra from Walmart, which to this day that's what I get, except for this one, but I'll talk about this bra later. So I got that, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, tomorrow's the day. So, child, I woke up mad early, and at this time I thought I was going to school like in daytime drag basically. So I woke up at the ass crack of dawn, got fully painted. Took me an hour for some reason. Like, looking back on it, my makeup, it's like, how did that take you so long when I did this in like 45, really? But it took me so long. I got ready, and I was out the house, and I remember walking, and like nobody knew. I didn't tell anybody I was coming to school in drag. And at this time, my girl name was my drag name basically, but that changes later. So I walk in there, and eyes, like, you feel eyes staring on you. And then I think it was after I graduated, towards like the summer, I want to say, yeah, towards the summer, I started doing like little photo shoots and stuff. And yeah, I realized I was really depressed, and I couldn't figure out why. And that's because I'm not dressing like a girl. Like, when I went to work, I didn't dress like a girl. I dressed up as, you know, a guy. So realizing that I'm not a man, I'm somewhere in the middle basically, because at this time I still really felt like a guy, and I was like, I'm gender fluid. Like, at the time I was like, okay, I'm gender fluid. I like playing with both sides of the coin basically, which is, you know, definitely normal. A lot of people do it if you're gender fluid and wondering about your transition. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It happens to a lot of people. A lot of people don't go from heterosexual male to heterosexual female in a day. It's a process. Everything in life is a process. And for me, that process was experimenting with the other side of the gender more. And then later in the year, as I got cooler, I asked, you know, my like supervisors and stuff, I asked them, hey, I'm gender fluid, and I really don't feel comfortable as a guy 100% of the time. Like, just warning them and stuff, just letting them know before it like came up, and next thing you know, I'm in an HR meeting. Didn't want that. So I told them, they got back to me, they said perfectly fine, you know, as long as you follow dress code, you're Gucci, coming on time, you know, just you can be you basically. And that's one thing I think I really needed to hear, because that really helped me, because I was working late shifts, like 1 in the morning, 2 a.m. shifts. I would get home and like sleep till probably like 2 in the afternoon, and then get up to go to work in like 2 hours. So yeah, that was that. And it was probably one of the funnest times ever. Like, the fall of 2018, I had so much fun, but then also it wasn't as good as well, but whatever. Anyways, gender fluid and stuff, so going to trans. Now at this time I was really confused, and like recently, like it was December, January, I was like, am I trans? Because a lot of times I started noticing that when I'm looking through catalogs, online shopping, Fashion Nova, I wasn't looking at men's clothes, I was looking at just female clothes. And at the time I was thinking, okay, it's because I don't really have a lot of female clothes. Like, this is a tank top for guys basically. And I was like, okay, I don't have, probably because I don't have a lot of female clothes. I'm like, okay, you know, I just want to build up my wardrobe for Taylor. And that was the person, my female version name I gave myself, because basically I'm named after Jordan Taylor Hanson. So I thought, well, my girl name B, well, why not Taylor? Like, it literally went perfectly together, to be honest. So Taylor at the time did not have a lot of clothes. She wore the guy uniform basically, but I just added boobs, which I was like okay with. It didn't look ugly on me, so I didn't really care. I was still fish, so and it was great. Like, I got hit on too, which is something that never happens to me as a guy. Like, ever. Every time I went out, not a single person looked my way. But it seems like as a girl, I got hit on a lot. And then me and my friends went to the club. Went to a club like in like the city, like the city, like the skyscraper city and shit. And I met this guy there, and we had like a great time. And then like he was okay with the fact that at the time I was, guess he considered like a cross dresser in a way, even though I don't like the connotation that society's kind of put to cross dresser, but like still kind of that. So I was very that, and like after that, like looking at those pictures too, because those pictures came out really well. I was like, damn, I'm gorgeous as a girl and stuff. Only to go into work the next day as a guy and feel like kind of not the same, kind of just not okay. So then there was, you know, the questions. I was questioning myself. I do a lot of internal thinking, and I was thinking, okay, am I? But then I was like, I can't be right now. I can't afford it, especially like emotionally, because I'm always stressed, to be honest. And at this time, even to this day, money was the root of my problems at the time. It was so bad. I wasn't like poor, but I was trying to save. I'm trying to save up to move out, and it's like I wasn't really making a lot of money. So it's like, well, how am I gonna move out? So I was really stressed, and I was like, I don't need this right now. For now, let's just be gender fluid. When I get my money right, I can really open myself up to the idea of, hey, you might be trans, which is something that was very hard for me to do, because I look on, you know, Instagram, Twitter, and I see people dragging trans people. And I think one thing that hit me hardest the most was the GameStop video, because I mean, I definitely understood both sides of the story. The girl side, like the trans woman side, I definitely understood, because if you tell someone, hey, this is my pronoun, what you don't do is you don't keep calling them an opposite pronoun. That's really fucked up. And I also understood the other people's side of the story, like, hey, she shouldn't have flipped out and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, definitely I can understand that. But at the same time, I'm not her. I don't know her life, so it's not really my place to judge. But I still really felt that moment, because everyone was collectively dragging trans people. It wasn't like, oh, let's drag this one trans person. It's like they see one bad queer person or one bad like trans person or gay person or anything, and they collectively drag the entire community and give them a reason to say, oh yeah, I'd whoop every trans woman's ass and stuff. And that's one thing I didn't want to happen to me, especially when you look at, like, you know, the trans murders and stuff, trans rate of unemployment, the trans rate of sex work and stuff. That's something I was really nervous about. So something I really did not want to think about, like, period. Like, I was like, let's not think about this whatsoever. And, you know, it would be different if I didn't have any good trans people to look up to, because I look up to a lot of awesome trans people. Who is it? Trace Lissette, Laverne Cox, Selena, or you know her as Bambi on YouTube, Steph Signati, Kat Black, Peppermint, Gia Gunn, Carmen Carrera. Even though a lot of people don't like Carmen Carrera, I still really like am inspired by Carmen Carrera. Kenya Michaels. You got, like, you know, so many amazing trans people I can look up to now, and that aren't like, you know, what society portrays as the dirty trans woman stereotype, that we're all like sex workers and stuff. I have people to look like that I can look up to, who actually do give me like hope that, hey, maybe my life won't be complete ass as a trans woman. And that definitely really helped me. I think it's always good to have, like, not an idol, but people you look up to. I think that's always really important, and that definitely helped me a lot. So I remember one night I was laying in bed, and I felt like, you know, Taylor, and I was scrolling on Fashion Nova, and I just had like a bra and like a thing of booty shorts on, like probably these booty shorts I got on now. They're like Mickey Mouse scheme. You've probably seen them before on my Instagram. But yeah, I was laying in bed scrolling on Fashion Nova, and I looked at all my favorites, because I was about to be like, okay, my taxes money about to come in. Taylor's about to have a new wardrobe. And I looked at my thing, and I saw one thing of guy clothes. I saw a t-shirt, like a shirt like this, no sleeves or anything. And that's the only like guy thing in my entire cart. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, maybe because I'm Taylor right now. And then I went to my Amazon wish list. So if you don't know, I do shop at Amazon a lot. I have multiple wish lists that are all organized by categories and stuff. And I organize certain things by certain time periods, meaning I can only buy stuff from this list from this time period. I cannot buy anything else from any other list. If it's in this list, that means I can buy it in this time period, basically, to help me from stop like overly online shopping. So I was looking in one of my wish lists that was just like the compiled list of just clothes from like probably like months ago and stuff, and months ago. So it was like Jordan and Taylor were both adding clothes, and I was looking, and I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I didn't see guys' clothes. The closest thing I saw to a guy's clothes was like the closest thing to that I saw to like an article of clothes that would have been considered guys was a thing of rainbow booty shorts and one of those like distressed looking hoodies, and that's about it. Like, and I was like, I'm trans. And like I remember saying it out loud. I was in bed and like it was probably 2 in the morning. I was probably watching TV, and I remember saying it out loud, and I was like, I am. And it felt right. It felt like something I've been trying to run away from, because I was like, I can't afford it emotionally. I can't afford it, period, to be honest, because there's so much bullshit that happens to trans people, especially since I am someone who works in customer service. I know the bullshit that happens to trans women when it comes to customer service, especially face to face, and that's something I didn't want to deal with. A lot of me avoiding the fact that I was trans was because I didn't want to deal with the society backlash, but then I think running from it definitely was not good in any way, shape, or form, to be honest. But I wasn't really running from it. You know what? I was running from it. I was running from it because I didn't want to. Not that I didn't want to admit it, or like I'd be ashamed, or like I was scared about my family or friends or anything else. I was just concerned about society in general and where society is going, and if that would even be safe for me. And I think that was my main concern, to be honest. And yeah, I remember saying it, and I was like, I felt good. Like, I felt happy. I felt reborn, basically. And I was like, so now what? And I was like, well, you figured out you're trans. Now what? There's not a book for that. So I was like, let's change everything. So in that course of the night, I changed my Twitter bio, my Twitter name, Twitter username, Instagram name, my bio. Everything changed. Everything changed. Literally, like, going down, because I think it was a Saturday, well, it would have been a Sunday morning, technically, but then I was changing every single thing, and, yeah, like, everything was just changed at that point, and I made a new OkCupid, made a new Bumble, made a new Grindr, made a new Jack'd, which I deleted Jack, because, but I changed everything, and I was looking, and I was like, wow, this feels right in a way. Now, when I say right, I don't mean like, oh yeah, that's the right answer, or this must be the right path. It felt normal to me. It didn't feel like, oh, I can't think of the word, like I'm not pretending or something, or just making like, you know, a little cross-dresser account or nothing. No, it felt like it was me. Like, it's me, basically. And then, you know, I guess it was really easy for me to come up with a name because I already had like a girl name technically, which was Taylor. So then I remember posting my first picture after I came out. I came out on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere, Facebook. I changed all my Facebook stuff too. And, you know, nothing but love. And then, you know, I promote my pictures on Instagram because, you know what? I like to give like $5 to get like probably like 30 more likes on a picture. Why not? I mean, if you have the money for it, why not? It was pretty fun. And I promoted a makeup look picture. And then I promoted a picture of me, like, after I went to the club. I went to go see a drag show, like, I think the next day. And, you know, it was great. I took really good pictures. I posted the pictures. And I was like, let's promote it and see how this goes. Mind you, in the captions and stuff, I started adding hashtags more. I'm trying to use hashtags more often. So it was like, you know, trans girl, you know, drag queen, stuff, you know, captions that went with the post and went with, like, me, basically. So after I promoted it, I woke up the next morning and saw so many hate comments, like around, well, a lot of hate comments for me is anything over 5, so I at least saw 5 hate comments, which is something I've not really had a lot with. Like, it was those, like, ex fan accounts and stuff, like, guys like those, like, I like some of X's music, but some of his fans are just horrible in general. I'm sorry if you're an X fan, but you know that there are toxic fans in your fandom, and they were under my comments roasting me, and after I deleted them, they came back and added more comments, which was, you know, annoying, because it's like, girl, what's the point? Like, what was the reason? So, yeah, that's basically up to date. As of now, not a lot, wow, I can't speak apparently, but not a lot's really changed for real. The only thing I could think of that really changed was how guys view me, especially. Before, uh, it was difficult, extremely difficult to find dates because it's like straight guys only want you for your girl side, then gay guys only want you for your guy side, and it seemed like nobody wanted both, like, ever. So then after I changed like all my dating, it's getting dark outside. It got dark outside quick. I should hurry this up. But anyways, after I changed all my stuff and all my things were set to Taylor and stuff, I started getting messages and stuff, and then the transphobic responses came in. I definitely have it easy. Because I have, a supportive family. I have, you guys, basically. I've had trans people to look up to, makeup tutorials to look at, and then I've had an experience in makeup because, let's say like I'm a trans woman who's really feminine and stuff who wants to start doing makeup. It is hard as fuck to start doing makeup, and for something like transitioning, it was like I'm basically halfway there, to be honest. Like, I guess, well, let's talk about dysphoria and what I plan to have done. So first, well, let me take this off first. Let me, if I can, take it. This is a fully padded bra. So, and also a little girdle. So from the side, look at that. This is all like a fully padded bra. And then with a little contouring and a little bit of already chest fat, I can make myself boobs, which definitely does help with my dysphoria a lot, because if we're going to talk about dysphoria, the only dysphoria I really have is for my chest. I don't have genital dysphoria because even growing up and stuff and like coming up as a gay kid and stuff, I never really associated genitals with gender that much. Like, I know like, oh, but every kid did. I was a child in middle school, and stuff. But it was something that never really stuck to me like that. So I guess that's the reason why I don't have genital dysphoria, meaning I don't want bottom surgery. And then because I am already extremely feminine in a lot of different ways, especially like my face, even with or without makeup, it is already feminine. My body's already feminine. I don't need hormones either. I already have soft skin. I don't grow body hair like at all. So really the only thing I want done are these. I want these done basically, and that's really about it. Like, I don't need hormones, to be honest, because it's not going to change my voice. I mean, voice training, that's what I'm trying to do. So basically, if I talk normal, my voice is here. It resonates from the throat. It does not resonate from my chest like a lot of men do. So it's easier if I bring it up to here. Now, if I bring it up to here, at the tippy top of my head, and I slowly bring it down, I can bring it to I watched a video and they said for voice training to try to imagine a light resonating from where you're speaking, and then you want to imagine that light rising up, and then finding your female voice right there. So my female voice is behind my eyes. That's like my third eye area. That's where I visualize my female voice, and that's where I put it. So I've been trying to use this female voice, but it's hard. It works if I go out in public more, but because, if you follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, you would know that I don't go out in public anymore because I got, banned from donating plasma for being trans. So it's difficult, but I guess YouTube's definitely gonna help me with my voice, and I'm gonna look back on these voice videos and cringe, and I'm so excited. But that's really about it. Like, I didn't really know what I was going with this video, but I felt like it was important. I felt like it was important to talk about this, like, fully, completely, because I've noticed as I've gotten older, I am, like, I don't want to sound conceited or anything, I am an inspiration for a lot of people, which is weird when you think about, like, you're just, you're just Taylor Rivera from North Carolina. You grew up in public schools. Who are you an inspiration to? Shockingly, a lot of people. And it's weird, not weird, but like, it's weird. It's weird when people tell me, because I look at them and I'm like, I'm just being me. And sometimes that is enough. Sometimes just being you is enough. And I realize that for some reason, a lot of people do look up to me and do take advice from me, because I'm always a listening person. And I don't know if I've said this on camera before. I think I did on my Disney video, But I'm inspired by Disney princesses a lot, and in my mind, I'm a Disney princess, so I try to act like one. Meaning, I always help people. I don't really, like, you know, I'm not mean at all. Like, I don't, like, I can be shady. Like, shady's fun, like a little shade and stuff, but I'm not a mean person, not mean-spirited. I try to be as nice as possible. If someone needs help, I definitely try to help them. I don't like seeing my friends upset. And that's something I've kind of brought with me, and I think a lot of people really look up to that for some reason. And I realized that my channel originally, like after the gaming era, was gonna be based around just me and like nerd stuff and shit, which I definitely want to get back into. But one thing that I did not want on my channel back in the day was political stuff, or stuff about like stuff that would make people sad. It's getting dark outside. But realizing that I do have a platform and I do have a lot of people looking up to me, that is a dumbass idea. And then I have a lot of opinions, and I'm really educated, to be honest. I know looking at me, I just seem like a pretty dumb girl, to be honest, but I'm more than looks, to be honest. I'm really smart, especially when it comes to politics. So I think that me talking about political stuff is really beneficial to a lot of my viewers and my followers and stuff, and a lot of people who do look up to me and who are my fans. And I think that I need to speak up about a lot of more things, and that's something I do want to bring into my channel in the future. And if you have any topics you want me to talk about, I'll gladly talk about them. Even if I don't agree with it, I'll give what this means, my side, why your side might not be the correct side, well, in my eyes, basically. Just, you know, if you have any suggestions or anything you want me to talk about, I'll gladly talk about it, because I think it is extremely important that we as a community talk about these things. And yeah, and as community, I mean like community on YouTube, like it's important to talk about these things. It's nice if you're like a kid and stuff and you don't want to talk about these things, but at the end of the day, if you are a grown adult who has a lot of opinions, I think it's really stupid if you don't talk about these things. And I want to change that on my channel. So in the future, definitely look out for political videos. I actually have a political video coming up soon, so definitely look out for that. And I'm gonna stop ranting, because this video was not supposed to be this long. It was not supposed to be this long. Yeah, that's basically about it. So I'm trans. I have top dysphoria, and I'm a Disney princess. There, see, title right there. Look at me. So this video really was not meant to be funny or like a rant or anything. This video was really meant for me to just talk about these things, I guess. I guess that's what really I wanted. And that's really about it. So I don't know how to end this, but basically comment, like, and subscribe. Share with all your friends. If you're someone who is queer, whether in your gender, your sexuality, or anything, and you want to talk about it in the comments, definitely leave a comment below, because I think it's really important that we as the hashtag Kitty Squad share our knowledge and our wisdom to the younger generation of queer people, and I think that's really important. So if you have any questions, definitely leave a comment, because I know that many queer people follow me, and I think they will definitely be glad to answer some of your questions. If let's say I don't know the topic or I don't know what to tell you, they will definitely probably answer your questions. I think that's really important. So definitely comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns, trolls to the left. We don't want you. And that's basically about it of this video. Definitely be sure to watch all my other videos. Definitely make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can get instant notifications whenever I upload. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, Kitty Squad. But it wasn't a match. Wrote some songs about Ricky. Now I listen to that. Even almost got married. And for Pete, I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm, 'cause he was an angel.